Oh, the NFC East finished the season much like they played all year. Dance fighting, choreographed football ineptitude masquerading as competition. And yes, Doug Pederson pulling Jalen Hurts for Nate Sudfeld was just so he could ensure Pennsylvania did Washington another favor. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. I'm never on the hot seat, Perna, because my butt has no feeling. And this is the best and worst of NFL Week 17. The playoffs are set. Saturday features the Colts at the Bills, the Rams at the Seahawks, the Bucks at the Washington football team. Sunday is Ravens versus Titans, then Bears at Saints and Browns at Steelers. The Bears being the one surprise team to make the dance. The Dolphins, the one surprise choke. Anthony Lynn, Doug Marrone, and Adam Gase all fired in the last 24 hours, leaving 6 total coaching vacancies at the moment. A lot of football to discuss today. Let's get at sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I appreciate everyone who watched the best and worst every week this season. We'll be doing it for each of the playoff days, so make sure you come back, thumbs the videos ups, and thank you. But today's episode is sponsored by HelloFresh, or as I call it, the thing I can't live without. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code That'sGoodSports10 to get 10 free meals, including free shipping. My wife and I brought a baby girl into the world this year, which means our free time vanished, like my Broncos playoff hopes. I struggled to find time just to go to the grocery store, and when I made it, I never knew what to buy for dinner.
Beef and cheese tostadas.
HelloFresh fixed that by delivering their 5-star, easy-to-follow recipes, fresh produce, and meats right to my door. Everything is easy to prepare, and I have dinner ready for my wife and me in about 30 minutes. Now I just need HelloFresh to send me someone to do the dishes. The packaging HelloFresh uses to ship your food is almost entirely made from recyclable and/or already recycled content, and when your schedule gets turned upside down, HelloFresh's flexibility allows you to add extra meals or change delivery needs at your convenience. Again, go to HelloFresh.com and use code That'sGoodSports10 to get 10 free amazing meals, including free shipping. Best and worst, Falcons, Bucks. Best, Mike Evans, becoming the first receiver in NFL history with 7 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons to start his career. Not Jerry Rice, not T.O., not Randy Moss, not Larry Fitzgerald, Mike Evans, who did it with quarterbacks like Josh McCown, Mike Glennon, and Jameis Winston. Cowboys at Giants, worst? Eli Manning, watching the game wearing an Eli Manning jersey, forcing his entire family to wear Eli Manning jerseys. Imagine me doing this, but making all my kids wear big dick player shirts. It's inappropriate, Eli. Best, Giants fans thinking they deserved a playoff spot with 6 wins and being pissed at the Eagles. Best, cornerback Jordan Lewis being an idiot in the most important game of the Cowboys season. Yeah, headbutt a dude literally right in front of the official. You need a second man to distract the official before you do that, Jordan. Best, Cowboys lose as Andy Dalton reverts to his natural state, crumbling in important games after making people believe in him. Jets vs. Patriots, best, Jets fire Adam Gase. Worst, the Jets hired Adam Gase 2 years ago. Worst, the Patriots experiment with Cam Newton failed. I was rooting for Cam, and they are not expected to bring him back. And he waited until week 17 to play his best game of the season, throwing 3 touchdowns, taking his season total from 5 to 8. Vikings-Lions, best, Matty Stafford exhibiting too much grit, playing injured in a meaningless game. Please save that energy for Denver, Matthew, your next home. Worst, Matthew Stafford didn't realize this game was meaningless because he's never played in a meaningful game in the NFL. Best, Jamal Agnew fumbling the ball without being touched on a punt return. If this isn't Lions football, I don't know what the hell is. Best, Justin Jefferson set the rookie record for most receiving yards by a Viking, passing one Randy Moss, then passing Anquan Bolden for the NFL rookie record. Worst, he's still probably gonna lose Offensive Rookie of the Year to Justin Herbert. Worst, maybe this being the most egregious roughing the passer flag of the season. Maybe ever, really. It's never good when the studio official is like, I don't know why they threw a flag here. And the officials from this game should be fired, as this Marvin Jones touchdown was also reversed for no reason. Steelers versus Browns, best? The Cleveland Browns have ended the longest playoff drought in NFL history, or in the NFL, by beating out Mason Rudolph and the Steelers backups. Next up, the same matchup, this time in Pittsburgh, but against the Steelers starters. Good luck, Cleveland. You will need it. And thank you for proving my prediction that you would make the playoffs at the beginning of this season correct. Best, TJ Watt should probably win Defensive Player of the Year, leading the league in sacks, tackles for a loss, and QB hits. Now, if you can only get JJ Watt to come to Pittsburgh, we might have full wattage. Ravens versus Bengals. Best? The Ravens rushed for 404 yards in this game, and unlike when the Titans run for an ungodly amount of yards, their score reflected it. They get Tennessee next Sunday in a rematch of last season's divisional round. Dolphins at Bills. Worst? Dolphins choking. I mean, you threw a pick six to Josh Norman, Tua. I thought King Henry killed Josh Norman months ago. Then he comes back to life like Bjorn Ironside, and you cower at the sight of the Walking Dead? Worst, COVID taking Ryan Fitzmagic out of the most important game of the year for the Dolphins. After a lifetime of playing for bad teams, Fitzmagic is robbed of a chance to play in the postseason by a fucking virus. Best, I'm gonna have to inspect this man's ass because the Bills just went 13-3. Damn, Buffalo, you came into this game with the throttle full metal jacket ahead. Didn't rest your starters, and guess what? Champions do that shit, Buffalo. Best, Buffalo secured the number 2 seed by scoring 56 points in a game that really didn't matter. And they rested Cole Beasley and now have a quintuple of ball catchers ready to dominate the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, my prediction. But Diggs, Beasley if he gets healthy, John Brown, Gabe Davis, and Isaiah McKenzie can go toe-to-toe with KC. Seahawks 49ers. Best, this catch by George Kittle. Reminding everyone he's the best tight end in the league, no matter who his quarterback is. Worst, is this the ugliest end zone decoration of all time? Arizona State covered up by a big red blotch at a 49ers Seahawks game in Phoenix. Basically indicative of the mess the 49ers had to deal with this season. Cardinals at Rams. Best, the Rams went from Ryan Gosling to Sean Penn as their starting QB. Benchwarmer Brew. My coffee company, this is the game of the weekend. Kyler Murray was injured in this game, leaving Chris Streveler versus John Wolford with a wild card spot on the line. The Wolf of Ball Street emerges victorious behind a clutch performance, sending his team and the Bears to the playoffs while ousting a division rival. On the other side, former CFL quarterback Chris Streveler threw a devastating pick six, but was the only quarterback to throw a TD in this game. Wolford is the BenchwarmerBrew.com's Bench Player of the Week. This is my coffee company. It's great coffee if you want to check it out. Best, JTT and the Colts making the playoffs behind his 253 rushing yards, most by a rookie since 2012. That ties Doug Marrone, who did it with the Bucks. Best, the Colts will travel to Buffalo for the first wild card game next Saturday. What's so interesting about this, you ask? Well, you have former Bills QB Frank Reich coaching to beat the team he once led to the greatest comeback of all time. Worst, Jaguars fired Doug Marrone today. Best, the Jags have $1 billion in cap space that they'll never spend, the number 1 overall pick, 11 picks in this draft, and nobody accused them of tanking because they won week 1, and they have a tradable QB in Gardner Minshew. It is like they did everything better than the Jets this season. for their future. Worst, the Titans needing to throw this prayer to A.J. Brown just to beat the Texans on a day where Derrick Henry had 250 yards on the ground and 3 tutties. Another example of Deshaun Watson being doomed to be the next Matthew Stafford. Best, just as they started the season, Tennessee won a game that was way too close on a field goal. This time it's Sam Sloman and not Gostowski as they win the AFC South for the first time since 2008. Best, this guy won't regret this tattoo. Worst, getting a tattoo of a division title. Make sure you leave a little room for your "my kid made the honor roll" and "I didn't cancel Netflix despite the price hike" tats. Worst, the Texans would have had the number 3 overall draft pick had Bill O'Brien not ruined them for years to come. He's truly like an abusive partner, scarring all of the people who trusted him long after he's gone. The only thing that will last longer than the stain he left behind is a division title tattoo. Raiders vs. Broncos. Best, Drew Lock nailing the impression of a Chargers team doctor after firing a dart to Troy Fumagalli for a TD. He really stabs them good like they're a Tyrod Taylor. Unfortunately, whatever Drew injected into Troy Fumagalli appeared to have side effects. Fumagalli reportedly lost another finger. Best, bust, Jerry Jeudy goes for 92 yards for the tutty, the longest touchdown in the NFL this year. Best, Drew Lock kept his league-leading interception tie with Carson Wentz at 15 by not throwing any picks in this game. Worst, Vic Fangio calls the shittiest timeout of the year, and the Gooch refused any advances by McManus, allowing the Broncos to jump 3 draft slots. Best, Noah Fant shoving a dillhole Raiders coach after that dillhole Raiders coach took a cheap shot at him on the sideline. I'd mention Fant throwing the ball at him too, but Fant missed the throw. Chargers vs. Chiefs. Best, Justin Herbert became the youngest quarterback in NFL history to throw 30 touchdowns in a season, in just 15 games at that. He also ran for 5 touchdowns this year, 2 more than Phillip Rivers had his entire Chargers career. Worst, Anthony Lynn was fired today. He earned the firing after managing to lose too many close games despite getting great QB play this year. Lynn, though, also dealt with more injuries than any other coach during his tenure. He, in my opinion, was the most questionable firing today. I think he deserved 1 more season. Packers vs. Bears. Best, Aaron Rodgers furthering his MVP case. 48 touchdowns to 5 picks, becoming the first player to have over 40 tugs and as few as 5 interceptions. Worst, the Bears lost 35-16 and still got into the NFC wildcard round. Welcome to the NFC playoffs, where we'll let any fucking team in. I've grown tired of NFL touchdown celebrations since the league allowed group sellies. They don't feel special anymore. It's like I only appreciated them when they were forbidden, but this Packers one, pretty good. Saints at Panthers. Best, Emmanuel Sanders celebrating his 8th catch of the game, hitting his $500,000 incentive mark for the 60 catches this season. Much better than Antonio Brown, who hit 45 catches, his incentive mark, when Tom Brady shoveled him 3 passes in the final 2 minutes, getting him an extra $250,000, which Brown will probably need for lawyers' fees. And then Brady will probably need a real shovel to bury Antonio Brown once Brady realizes he just used a criminal to help him win a Super Bowl. Worst, Benchwarmer PJ Walker coming in for Teddy Bridgewater and throwing 3 picks on 15 tries. Carolina had 5 total on the day. Washington football team versus Eagles in the primetime finale. Best, Marcus Epps Von Millered the ball right out of J.D. McKissic's hands. Hitting a guy so hard that you accidentally walk away with the pick is always highlight worthy. What a pathetic game though to flex into primetime. Screw you, NFL. Without knowing the results beforehand, it should have been the Browns versus Steelers or Packers versus Bears. But that NFC East bias is bullshit. We're all tired of it. You knew this wouldn't be the best game and you flexed it anyway. Worst, Doug Pederson pulled Jalen Hurts for Nate Sudfeld in a 1-score game. The Eagles jumped 4 draft picks with that loss. And that's really the only thing that could explain it. Or they really hate the Giants that much. Either way, it was a lame, anticlimactic end to the regular season, but also great for all of the NFL is rigged conspiracy theorists out there. Worst, even as the Eagles tried to lose, Alex Smith threw a pick, then another, and then fumbled the snap, and turned a football team fumble recovery and a football team pick into just 3 points in the fourth quarter. They couldn't close out a team trying to lose with any sort of conviction. Speaking of convictions, how will they stop Antonio Brown and Tom Brady this weekend? Welcome to the Big Dick Player Awards of Prestige. Quarterback Kirk Cousins led the day in passing yards with 405 and 3 touchdowns in a meaningless win over the Lions. Jacoby Myers finished with the highest QB rating at 158.3 with his 1 touchdown pass to his former youth football coach Cam Newton. Deshaun Watson finished the season with the most passing yards at 4,823, but I'm giving the award to Drew Brees, who didn't have any of his running backs to lean on and managed to pick apart the Panthers in his second game back after fracturing every bone in his body and throwing 3 tuggle-wuggles on the day to 0 picks. Big Dick running back goes to Jonathan Taylor. You might be asking how a running back who put up 250 yards and surpassed 2,000 yards on the season doesn't get Big Dick running back of the week. Well, that's because Colts rookie Jonathan Tinker Taylor Soldier Spy Thomas had 253 yards. Also because Derrick Henry gets the 2020 Big Dick Ball Carrier of the Year award. A season-long journey leading to the highest honor of prestige. Wide receiver. This one is painful, but I have to give it to Antonio I'm kidding. It's Isaiah Mckenzie, former Broncos draft pick, also painful, who caught a pair of touchdown passes from Josh Allen before running a punt back for a touchdown. First player to do that all in the first half in the Super Bowl era. Hey Buffalo, champs do that shit. My apologies to Marvin Jones, who simply picked the wrong week to have 180 receiving yards. And Big Dick defender, I'm gonna give one to Xavier Howard. Sure, his team gave up 56 points, but he still managed to get to his 10th interception of the year, the most since Antonio Cromartie in 2007. 1 interception, basically for each kid Cromartie has. But Leonard Williams had 3 sacks, helping lead the Giants to a win over the Dallas Cowboys. Williams, you get the award. You're having a career revival in New York for the Giants, not the Jets, where you were not living up. Williams, you're in New York and you're doing good. I did a best and worst moment for every team from the 2020 season. That video's on the screen right now if you would like to check it. Watch it, watch it, watch it.